Welcome to the High Value Sales Show of Eversprint.com. I'm Malcolm Louie, the managing member of Eversprint, and today we're speaking with Sam Khorramian, the owner and co-founder of Block Realty, a San Diego-based real estate brokerage firm. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Thanks for having me, Malcolm. I'm really excited to be on your show.
Sam, you grew your company's revenue from $636,000 in 2014 to $47.8 million in 2017, a 7,417% increase. And in 2018, you hit around $63 million. Before we talk about how you grew your company so fast, can you briefly share what your company does beyond my quick intro and how your company differs from the competition?
Happy to do it. We are a real estate brokerage. We're in the business of really two things: recruiting agents to come work at our brokerage firm. Today we have just about 1,000 agents that work here, and then we support them in the process of going out, working with clients, and helping them buy, sell, and invest in real estate.
1,000 agents, that's a huge number. I take it you don't have some 10-story building housing them all.
No. We, one of the things that we've done different in our model is we have a lot of office space, but not enough to house 1,000 people. We've run a very virtual forward program where a large percentage of our agents will work from home or from their house. We run everything online through our technology platform. And we also, in all of our offices, have open workstations. So an agent that might not be renting an office from us, we have just a ton of open workspace that they could come, hop on for the day and get some work done, conference rooms, all that stuff.
Okay. Now, I checked out your website and I saw something that was pretty compelling. 100% commission payout. Now, how do you do that and still generate millions of dollars of revenue?
So inside of the real estate transaction, there's about 28 different parts of a consumer's journey, 20 different companies, if you will, that are employed when someone buys and sells real estate. So we have either started those companies or have built strategic alliances with them so that we can not only help them with the journey of buying and selling real estate, but we can do everything from helping them get set up with movers. We have escrow, mortgage, all these different things that essentially are all incubated into the real estate transaction. And then in addition to that, we have our own products and services. We offer different marketing solutions, transaction management solutions. So we've kind of taken the traditional real estate model that has been segmented and tried to encapsulate it the best we could in a seamless, easy process that puts all the different services that a client and or an agent would use in front of them throughout the course of the transaction.
So the revenue that we talked about at the very beginning, $47.8 million in 2017, $63 million in 2018. Can you give a breakdown of where that revenue is coming from?
Yeah, so a good percentage of it is commission that comes to house, dues that agents are paying us to be here, transaction management, office rentals, different affiliate fees and marketing service agreements that we have. So it's really a big combination of everything pulled into one.
Right. And do all of your agents get 100% of the commissions, or does it depend on what arrangement you have with them?
The large majority are getting 100% commission. We do have some internal lead programs where we'll help agents with leads. When they close those leads, they'll pay us more than 100% commission if we're providing the lead for them. And then we do our own in-house development projects. We'll flip some properties. We'll do commercial deals. So there's a lot of commission generated, but also a lot of commission that gets paid out to the agents.
Right. So the agents you see in your model, which is different from other brokerages as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong if other brokerages have your model, but it seems like your business really is in the facilitation of the transactions, and you want to get as many agents on board to get as many transactions going so that you can generate revenue that flows to your bottom line outside of the commissions?
Yeah, it's all of the above. We've taken a distinct approach to this business, which I think separates us from not all of the competition, but a good amount of it, where I think the traditional brokerages out there really believe that the brokerage's customer is the person that's buying and selling real estate, which is fine. We've taken a different approach that we believe our client, our customer, is the real estate agent. And if we can provide them with a ton of resources, support, training, culture, everything that they need to make them perform better, that helps us get them in line with our objectives and really creates a strong win-win environment.
Right. Are there other brokerages that have your model?
There is. There's, when we started this, there was maybe just one or two out there that were doing the same model as us. Today, we're really seeing that this is slowly starting into turning into kind of like more of a normal practice. As this is what I think we all should remember. It doesn't matter what business you're in. When you always position your customer to win the most, you're going to win the most. And we're seeing a lot of brokerages are starting to open up doing this. A lot of traditional old school brands and offerings are converting over to this. So I really do believe that what we're going to see in the next handful of years is this will start to kind of be more of the standard than the traditional models that are out there.
Right. So for your agents, what percentage of the commission are they getting? And how does that compare to what they would get at a different brokerage that doesn't have your model?
Depends on which program they go with us, but they're really keeping 100% of the raw commission that's earned. They'll pay us dues of around $3,000 to $4,000 a year, and then we're capturing a lot more revenue in all of the surrounding ancillary services and products.
Right.
So, let's just say an agent has paid us our dues for the year, and they get a check for 10 grand. They're going to take that 10 grand home.
Right. And what might they get if they were at a more traditional brokerage firm?
I'd say the average is around a 70-30, maybe an 80-20. So if we were to look at that same $10,000 commission check, they're probably going to keep $7,000 to $8,000 of it on a single deal versus the full thing at 10 grand with us.
Right. Well, to me, that sounds pretty compelling. So, why aren't all the agents in the San Diego area flocking to you and another guy?
I wonder the same thing. No, the truth is that it's a newer model, and a lot of people are just comfortable where they're at. Today in San Diego, we have about 10% market share, which is really one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in our local market. So we do control a good percentage of it, but you have to remember that not every model, and this is something that we've really just been true to in our own mindset, we're not built for everybody, and either is our competition. There's certain people that want to be at the traditional shops and they want to waive those more well-known brands. There's people that are on teams and have lead flow. There's people that are just straight part-timers. So there's a lot of different reasons that people may or may not choose to join. But I think the biggest is our model for a lot of people almost seems too good to be true. And we're always trying to educate, our clients, the agents out there, with testimonials and case studies and making this better well understood as a legitimate, well-run practice that they can win with.
Right. Totally understand that. Sometimes, people have been burned so often that it is easy to be skeptical about things.
Yeah. And, you got to remember also with us, if I was selling a widget, let's just say it's a bike or a pen or a plug-in or whatever it is, it's really easy to make a bad decision, right? If I bought a really bad pen, I'll live. Like, that's fine. I'll just return the pen or I'll move on or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. But with us, we're actually asking people to switch where they work. This is how they feed their family. This is their lifeline, right? Yeah. They have just a lot that rides on the line. So it's not just a quick, easy decision for them to make. It's a big part of their lives.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So when you grew your business from $636,000 in 2014 And then 4 years later, you've pretty much 100x your business, right? You're at 63 million.
Yeah.
What were the three biggest drivers behind that?
Great question. Number one is, has to be culture for us. When we started this company, we asked ourselves, when we started it, we were in our 20s and we just didn't find a home that was exciting for us. So we asked ourselves, well, where would we want to work? And we focused on building that. We were a really fun, laid back, exciting environment to be a part of. We really just love on our agents. We give them so much support. We're always trying to create what we call wow experiences for them. And that's everything from the speed to getting back to them, the tone that we have with them. I think that a lot of brokerages take the position that an agent is lucky to be working there. Our perspective is we're lucky that they've chosen to work for us. So we just show up every day anticipating their needs and trying to over deliver on their expectations. And what that has done for us is really made a big part of our growth organic driven. I want to say last year, 62% of the agents that came on board from a referral from an existing agent. And those are the best, right? The cost for acquiring it is dramatically less. The quality of the conversations is increasingly better. So number one, we're always focusing on culture and making this the best, the fun, and the most caring place to hang your license as a real estate professional.
Right.
Number two is we are a very sales-oriented organization. And what I mean by that is a lot of people that get into the brokerage business at one point were a real estate agent. And they didn't like selling, so they started a brokerage in hopes of just hiring people and having them go do the selling. Well, either way, if you're an agent trying to sell real estate or a brokerage trying to sell people to work for your company, you have to be a sales-oriented organization. We have a floor of outbound dialers. We have recruiters. We are doing the traditional old school sales stuff. We invest in our salespeople's skill in communicating. We're really strong in our lead follow-up. We just have a ton of systems in place to make us a sales-forward environment. And what this means for us is, on average, 76% of the agents that we meet with will end up getting to convert to join the company, which is just a staggering number compared to other organizations. And yes, it's our offering. Yes, it's our culture. But I believe that's what makes them pay attention. It's our sales efforts, our communication skills, our follow-up systems that have really helped us get that number to 76%.
Right. So all those things that you're doing, the old school stuff you talk about, the cold calling, the follow-up, the communications. Now this is what you're doing to find new agents onto your platform, right? Yeah.
Well, yes, on both sides of the business, finding agents to join the company and using that with our agents to help our agents sell more homes. It's interesting in our industry, Malcolm, like a lot of people don't talk about the fact that they're sales professionals. And I always say, if you don't think you're a salesperson, ask your clients what they think you are. Like, we are sales professionals, and the entire industry is focused on teaching them how to buy leads and how to farm and market better, which we do a lot of, but we back it up with high intense sales training so that we can ultimately put ourselves and our agents in a position to where we can make the person, the client, the prospect we're talking to feel comfortable and confident that we're the right direction for them to go in.
Right. So you also have programs set up, systems set up to help find buyers and sellers for your agents. So you have a cold calling program to do that.
Yeah. Well, we have systems that we either teach them how to implement themselves and coach them through it.
Okay.
And then we have systems where we'll do the lead generation and funnel it off to some of them.
Right.
But one of the things that's really helped our growth, and it's really important for framing this conversation to understand that our primary objective at the company is to recruit agents.
Yep.
And then help them sell more homes. So one of the things that we did very early on is we looked at different organizations that have had tremendous growth, and we try to find the common denominators amongst all of them. The three that we found was, one, culture. You look at a company like Zappos. We studied Zappos. We read the books. We did the office tours. Then we looked at sales efforts. The best growing organizations have strong sales efforts. And then the third thing that we found that we focused on is really strong referral programs. We incentivize our agents to help us get in front of more agents. So we rolled out a couple programs that have just been home runs for us. One of them is called Refer a Friend and Win a Benz. And what we do is every time an agent refers another agent that joins the company, we'll put all those names in a hat. And at the holiday party every year, we'll pull a name, and that person will win a 3-year lease to a Mercedes-Benz.
Nice.
So we've gamified that, right? We've kind of taken almost the casino approach. Like the casino, it's not that you want to lose money, it's that you get enthralled with the gamification of the process. So we have the Benz referral program, and then we also have a program that's called Refer 5, and it's free, meaning as soon as an agent refers 5 agents to join the company, they don't pay us anything on dues, not the $4,000, $3,000 a year. They get their 100% commission, but we're okay with that because everybody refers someone. It takes a lot of effort to get to 5. But my question for you is, would you give up 1 paying customer to get 5 new paying customers that your cost for acquiring was way low and the engagement was way high? And I think that the answer would be yes. We came from an internet marketing background, and we saw these referral programs and affiliate programs were a big driving force for a lot of information and tech-driven companies. And we found a way to incorporate that in the things that we were doing.
Yeah, fantastic. So the people who refer 5 agents, they never pay you any dues for ever, or just for 1 year?
As long as they have 5 agents active. But remember, we're capturing them on escrow. A single transaction in escrow, just to put it in perspective,
Yep.
We're making about $2,200 to $2,500.
Right.
This year, we're going to do 6,000 transactions. So if we capture a decent part of that, we're still winning. And that's just one of the ancillary profit centers. We really believe that the money is in the volume.
Yep.
The money is in the transactions. And we're not going to worry about losing a few $1,000 in order to earn their business and all of the other ancillary services that we offer.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. So you talked about 2 drivers, the culture, second one, sales-oriented organization. Did you mention a third one already lumped in there? The
referral program.
Okay.
Yeah. And folks, look, I don't know, unless there's guidelines, legal guidelines that prevent you from doing this, and in a lot of industries there could be that. Referral programs and incentives are the best, because what happens is we see this time and time again. We'll get someone good, we incentivize them to just keep us top of mind, and they'll refer their friends, they'll refer their moms and their uncles, and it's the best growth is organic growth. And when you can have your existing customers bring you more customers, that is winning. That's winning so hard. And, we've just really believed that if we continue to make our culture, our sales efforts, and our referral programs better, why couldn't we have everybody that works at the company refer 1 person per year? And if all that did was help us double in size every single year, we're winning in a major way.
Sure. Now, referrals, though, at one point, isn't enough to fuel your growth, right? Eventually,
Absolutely.
Your market will hit saturation, and anyone who wants to be an agent can be an agent, is with you guys. So, where is that point where you're going to have to look for other ways of getting new agents on board?
For us, one of the things that we're really good at is marketing and making a lot of noise. Just yesterday, I ran into a friend in Target, and she's like, man, my sister is an agent in South Carolina, and she was at a seminar in South Carolina, and they were talking about big block realty.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, I hear this all the time. And why can that be? Like, how is it possible that people on a completely opposite end of the country are talking about what we're doing here in California? It's because we make a lot of noise. Like, the person that makes the most noise wins the game. So we're really heavy in content marketing, video marketing, and straight digital advertising. We're putting a lot of efforts in educating our industry in things that they care about. And on the backside, it's helping us get our brand way further than we even really need it to be. Now we're starting national expansion, so it's great to hear people in South Carolina talking to us, because that could lead to something. But generally speaking, until this year, all that was great for the ego. It was flattering. But what's the point? The point is the person that makes the most amount of noise wins the game. And if you look at people like Grant Cardone, who's just hockey sticked so hard in the past couple of years, the reason he has done that is that guy makes so much damn noise. I spent some time analyzing what he's done in the past year. And one of the things that I picked up that really resonated with me is he is doing on his Instagram alone an average of 7.7 posts per day. 7.7 posts per day. I'd be willing to bet that the average person's doing one every other day if you really average it out.
I'm willing to bet that he's not even doing that himself personally. He's got.
Oh yeah, no way. He's got a large team, and today we do as well, right? Like a couple years ago, it started to get bigger than anything we could do ourselves. So today we have 2 full-time videographers and editors that are literally just capturing the content that we're doing. Like here in a moment, I'd be willing to bet that one of my videographers will walk in here. She'll capture some content of me on this podcast, and she'll either use it as B-roll or she'll take the audio and turn it into something. So my point is, you really have to think about positioning you in your organization to, as soon as it gets bigger than something you can control, you have to bring people in. Gary Vaynerchuk has been talking about this for a few years. He said 2 years ago at one of his conferences that he believes in the next 10 years, you're going to see most professional organizations, regardless of the industry, having an in-house paparazzi. And what that does for us is it helps me put out content daily. It helps me put out different types of content. You know, one of the things that we're doing that we couldn't done if we didn't have the people is we started our own show called The Brokerage. And every couple of weeks, we're putting out a new episode of the behind the scenes and the things that we're doing in our company, from fun socials and experiences to trainings, just random in-office, fun stuff. And we're bringing our company to life in the eyes of our customer.
Yep. Going back to your drivers, maybe we can talk a little bit deeper about each one. So you talk about the culture being your biggest one. How has the culture allowed you to grow your sales?
Culture for us is directly related to 2 things. Well, really 3. 1, we built a place that we enjoy working, and our staff is pumped to be here. When you and your staff are excited to go to work, you're simply going to outperform the competition. Most people dread Mondays. I like to think most of our staff and us here that run the company, like, we're excited because coming to work for us is fun. We get to hang out with people we like. We get to do things we like. 2, because the culture is contagious, we have now 1,000 people that are out marketing for us. I can't tell you how many times we're seeing posts on social about one of our agents just going live and giving a video testimonial about how awesome their experience is. One of the things that we do is when we see a major life event happen, good or bad, for one of our agents, a couple of months ago, one of our agents lost his grandma, and we just sent him some flowers. We do that because we care. And he went live on social, and he was just almost on the verge of tears, like, man, these guys have 1,000 agents, and they sent me flowers because my grandma passed. So we're just taking such good care of them in the good, the bad, and in the between, that we have turned our customers into our advocates. And I'll tell you, the best business is referral business.
Yep.
And then lastly, it's really helped us retain our customers. When you come to an organization like ours, that culture is off the charts. Training is amazing. Support is A++, backed by a really fair compensation plan. where else can they go, dude? You know, like, yes, there's other competition, but we see agents leave us to go to whatever the competition is. And more often than not, within 6 months, they come back to us.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because of culture.
Okay. Now, you have 1,000 agents. How were you able to keep in touch and be aware of that one particular agent's grandmother passing away?
Great question. So one of the things that we have, one of the parts of our organization is what we call our agent concierge department. And there's, 6, 7 people in that department. They're running a lot of different things, but they're also always on social, just paying attention to our agents' posts. So someone saw a post, this agent's grandmother passed, and, it's a standard operating procedure where now they don't even come to us to say, hey, should we order something? We have a budget set. They'll go on, they'll order it, and they'll send it out. So the short answer is we pay attention, right? We're paying attention as best that we can. And of course we miss things. Like just the other day, I got news that one of our agents' mother passed, and 2 weeks later, we still didn't know. And that was an opportunity that we couldn't execute on because we just didn't catch that post.
Yeah.
So it's not foolproof, but we pay a lot of attention to what's being said, and we try to support and execute whenever possible. Yeah. The other thing that we've done on culture, because you brought this up earlier, our 1,000 agents, we don't see a lot of them often because they don't work in the office.
Right.
So every month we run a social where we'll go to a local restaurant, we'll give everyone some drink tickets, we'll get some food, and we put on a social gathering every single month, and we scatter it throughout the city, and we'll bring everybody together to have some fun, break bread, enjoy the fruits of their labor. We have an exclusive mastermind inside of our company that's for the top 5% of our agents. So if you did top 5% of volume for the year, you're in what we call winner circle, and we'll put on really nice events for them. We do 2 high-level, top-notch masterminds in places like Ritz-Carlton. And then at the end of the year, we pay for all of them to go on a cruise with us. That's the sort of thing that you can't quantify. We spend a lot of money on those things.
Yep.
And going into it, you can't quantify, there's no equation to tell you, how is this going to work? What's the ROI going to be? But I love those equations because no one else is willing to make that bet. And we knew, and we still know, that if we make the bets that other people aren't willing to make, we're going to win hands that other people can't win.
Yep. Yeah, culture is one of those things. For me, I like talking about it because it's so qualitative and subjective. And like you said, you really can't put an ROI on it, right?
Yeah. And this is the thing about culture too, Malcolm, is you can't copy culture. You can have your own culture, and your culture can be completely different than my culture, which is why we're not for everybody. There's certain agents that don't join us really because we're too fun and we're too out there, and that's okay. There's a culture that is more reserved that is good for them. That's the culture they want to be a part of. So we really believe we're not built for everybody, but the people that are like us, we're the best home for them. So, it doesn't matter if you're not like us. You have a culture. You just might not be telling the story of your culture properly and amplifying it and making enough noise around it so that people know that you're their home.
Right. Got it. So for 2019, what's your plan? What target are you shooting for? How many more agents are you looking to get? How much more revenue are you shooting for? And what challenges does your team need to overcome to get there?
Great questions. This year, we are starting national expansion. We're just about 60 days away from being approved to start franchising in about 25 states. So, our goal this year is to just double in size, but our goal over the next 5 years is to 10x. We'd like to have close to 7,000 to 10,000 agents in the next 5 years. And we'd like to be closing north of 50,000 transactions, which will make us, really one of the biggest companies in the country in real estate. So that's where we're steering the ship. And the second part of your question was, what distractions or challenges do we have to eliminate? Was that what that was?
Yep.
I'll tell you the biggest challenge we have, and I think most entrepreneurs that will listen to this will agree, is we need to say no to more things. There's tons of opportunity, and as a capitalist on opportunity, we like to say yes to things that make sense. But every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else.
Right.
And we've really, we've known this forever because we've heard it in seminars and masterminds. In the past couple of years, we've really had to focus on saying no to more things. We've actually shut down some businesses that were doing okay, but they weren't in line with our big picture goal. So we're really focusing on being lean and mean in the areas that matter, and being okay to say no to great opportunities that come by. And we're flattered that those opportunities come, but we have to stay true to the mission, which is, 10Xing in the next 5 years.
Yep.
So number one is saying no to more stuff. And what that helps us do is do less, but make more. I saw a study once that if someone has one goal, I forget the exact stats, they're like 80% likely to reach their goal.
Oh yeah.
If they have two goals, they're like 40% likely to reach one of the goals. If they have three goals, it goes down to like 15% likely to reach one of those goals. So we're really focusing on saying no to more so we can do less in order to do more and earn more money.
Yep.
And then I think that as any organization starts to have really good growth, your organization management always turns into a challenge, right? So we're focusing a lot on, really systematizing the way the different departments work with each other, the way they support each other, creating an environment internally that is all supportive, not just of the client, but of each other inside of the organization. And we believe that on the back side of that, what we'll see is what we call a lot less got a minute meetings. Got a minute meetings throw everybody off track. It's like, hey, you got a minute, let me run this off you.
Yep.
That kills production. And we believe that if we can empower people, set up a better organizational chart, give people a clear understanding of what to do and where to go, and create manuals for everything, that we can take people and make them more productive throughout the day.
Right. Now, I know you have 1,000 agents. How many people are in the head office that supports the 1,000 people, that your 1,000 agents?
About 20.
It's amazing. 20 people, man, supporting 1,000 people, generating 63 million revenue a year. That's a huge number.
Thanks.
In fact, let me figure that out. Your revenue that's like
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
What it is though is, I know that you probably hear this all the time interviewing successful entrepreneurs. A lot of entrepreneurs have a hard time letting go.
Yeah.
And because of that, they make their people less empowered to perform. Our motto in the office when we hire someone is, we're not going to give you anything that we can't live with you messing up. And if you mess up, that's not a bad thing. It's a case study for us to go through and learn how you won't make the same mistake again. So we encourage, I don't want to say encourage, but we empower them to know that it's okay to break shit. It's okay to mess things up. Sorry, I don't know if I was allowed to curse on this, but
no, it's okay.
We've created an environment that lets them take ownership of what they're doing.
Yep.
And because of that, we just get a lot more out of them. In addition to that, one of the things that really sets us apart is we have centralized support. A traditional brokerage, let's say they have 10 offices in San Diego. Well, those 10 offices have 10 office managers. They have 10 brokers. They have 10 trainers. They have 10 everything. We have centralized all our support in our main headquarters in Mission Valley, and we run everything from one location, which has helped us get a lot more with less people.
Yep, makes sense. Now, how about on the marketing and sales front? What sort of challenges will you need to overcome? What kind of things do you need to leverage to hit your targets?
That's a great question. I really believe that as good as we are at making noise and putting out compelling content. I believe that we're just scraping the surface of possibility and opportunity there. A big part of our efforts in marketing this year is focusing on making a lot more polarizing content. Are you familiar with Billy Jean?
I do know the person. He's a real young guy that's really made a name for himself on the Facebook side.
Yeah, real young guy. He's going to do 16 million in revenue this year. And his whole thing, he's hockey sticking so hard because he's good at making polarizing content. I mean, there's videos of him dressed up as Oompa Loompa and gladiators, and he is doing what other people aren't willing to do. And this is his words. He says, people won't do what I'm willing to do in marketing because they don't want to be a douchebag. Where we embrace our inner douchebag, and that makes people remember us. And an easy analogy to look at this is if you ask someone, name an insurance company, I'd be willing to bet that most people, and I try this on stage all the time, most people say Geico.
Exactly what I was thinking.
See, and the interesting thing here, Malcolm, is Geico doesn't even talk about insurance. Geico, you're watching a commercial, a pig wrapped in a blanket, sitting in a stadium, watching a football game. You're like, what the hell is going on? He's squealing like a pig. And then it says, by the way, 15 minutes can save you 15%. Like, they didn't talk about insurance. They gave you polarizing content to make you pay attention, and they backed it up by logic. So I really believe that we need to be focusing a lot more on really engaging, polarizing content, which will then help us with our brand development as we start national expansion. So number one is just better, and more content. Second is as the leader of the organization, and I've been working for the past 6 months on, my top level supporting team members, is to put me and my business partner, Oliver, that I started the company with, put us in a position to where we can spend more time thinking and strategizing. When you're starting the business, you're pushing all the buttons. As it grows, you start pushing less buttons. My goal is really to be pushing 0 buttons and to really be thinking about the vision, be working on strategy, top line growth, putting myself, Malcolm, I spend 3 months of the year out of the office in masterminds, seminars, different things to just put me in the position where I can be thinking about things that I wouldn't be thinking about, executing on things that I didn't know existed, because I'm more and more eliminating myself from having to push the buttons day to day and putting myself in the position that I can think and strategize more. And I think that that's something most entrepreneurs just have such a hard time doing. The more I eliminate myself from day-to-day activities, the team actually does better because I get more out of the way and I get to focus on new exciting projects that will really help us 10x in the next 5 years.
Right. Now, when you talked earlier, just circling back a little bit, talking about more polarizing content, getting your brand out there. So that's more of the inbound marketing side of things. How about on the outbound side? Is there anything you guys need to do on the outbound side to get your 10x target over the next 5 years?
So I might be misunderstanding your question, but I look at that as outbound marketing to bring inbound leads.
Okay.
So that to me is very outbound. It's us going out to the public. Mm-hmm. But a couple other things that we're focusing on, and again, going back to Gary Vee, one of the things that he said to me, or not to me, felt like to me because I was in the audience with a bunch of people, he said that if you're really good at what you do, if you're the best at what you do, you will always remain in the position that you have to go hunt business. But when you become a somebody, the business hunts you. And that was profound to me because if I focus on putting out more good, high level, some polarizing content, and I build my personal brand, not Big Block's brand, if I build my personal brand so that I become more of a somebody in my perfect customer's mind, it makes it easier for me to help direct them in the directions that I want them to go. be it Big Block or different events that we run, or some of our ancillary services, we really, as all of us as entrepreneurs, need to be focusing more and more on becoming a somebody. Gary calls it the land grab of the internet right now. And people, just the other day, I'm running campaigns to build my personal brand, and some troll on one of my posts, it was a picture of me and Richard Branson. He's like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a tool. Like, what are you trying to do? Be the 50,000,001 influencer on Instagram, another wealth management guru?" And my response was, I'd rather be the 50 millionth guru on Instagram than the 50 millionth person that's just scrolling and being a troll on someone else's posts. My point is, you just got to focus on growing that personal brand. And I look at that as outbound marketing that will help us bring in a lot more high quality leads.
Right. Okay. But you're not doing, in terms of finding agents, I guess, well, why don't we talk about your plans for the franchise rollout? What's the plan on finding people to buy your franchise?
Great question. Well, to start, we've been very fortunate that all of the noise we've been making, the company has never even talked about franchising until very recently. Mm-hmm. But we, even before we talked about it, we're getting inbounds almost weekly from people that are just like wanting to learn more. So I believe that, yes, the noise making and the content making will help us find more of those people. But okay. Two, and this goes towards agent recruiting and franchise recruiting, what we've built is like on average 5 to 10 video series that we put together to help our avatar know that who we are, make them aware that we exist, follow up with more content that get them to consider that we're a good outfit for them, and then back it up with content that's designed to get them to convert to joining us. Right. So if I was just going to make 9 videos, the first 3 videos are going to be all awareness. The next 3 videos are going to be all consideration. And then the final 3 videos are going to be conversion-driven content. So, example of that will be following the lifeline of an agent that didn't want to join Big Block, join Big Block, taking them through the lifeline, capturing all that, and then making a retargeting sales funnel that we target our customer, we show them video 1, we take the people that saw video 1 and then show them video number 2, people that saw 2, show them number 3, and we're going to take them through our own season, if you will, of a show that helps them go from awareness to consideration to conversion.
Right. Now, you said before you have about 10% of the San Diego market. You have 1,000 agents. Does that mean there's about 10,000 agents out there in San Diego?
There's 22,000.
Okay. So 22,000 agents.
So I'm saying we're capturing 10% of market share of transactions. So we have about 5% of the agents, but our 5% of agents are controlling 10% of the market.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean the video funnel you outlined, I imagine works quite well because you have a nice big pool of agents that you can show to, right? Potentially 21,000 people out there, right? Who aren't on your platform right now. But when it comes to doing franchisee buyers, right? Is the market as large as well?
We're learning this as we go through it. Mm-hmm. What I'm learning is it's actually a lot bigger than I thought.
Okay.
What I found, and then when I compared it to where I was, successful entrepreneurs want to follow successful proven plans. The most successful people are looking for people to tell them what to do and how to do it. So I think that there's a fairly large pool of perspectives out there. Mm-hmm. And what we're doing because we don't know it yet, and all of our marketing right now, almost all of it is run in-house, but we've never done franchisee marketing. So we're hiring a franchisee marketing agency that we're going to learn a lot from, and they're going to show us how to go after franchisees, the way you can get in front of them, different events, seminars, So we're hiring an agency to help us with that so we can know what we don't know.
Yep.
And then we're going to find how to take what we've learned there and even amplify it with the things that we do best. And I think there's a lesson there, Malcolm, which is, successful people versus unsuccessful people. A lot of unsuccessful people are seeking advice. They're going to just anybody, their mom, the other person they're working with, whoever it may be, and they're seeking advice. Advice is nothing if it's not backed by someone that has been where you're trying to be. So whenever we're going through a new project or a new challenge like franchising, instead of seeking advice, we seek counsel. We want to talk to people that have already done what we're trying to do. Just the other day, I met with one of the top, I think the number one franchise recruiter for Century 21, right? We just met them randomly, and I was like, wow, I'm going to pick this person's brain. And obviously she didn't share with me everything, but she was open and she shared, and I'm seeking counsel from someone that is doing what I'm trying to do as opposed to just getting advice from anybody. So we look at this next chapter, we need to go seek counsel. We need to hire professionals that have done what we're trying to do so we can learn from them. And I'll back this up with one other thought. Good counsel does not come easy, and it doesn't come cheap. Yep. Oftentimes, it's expensive. This is what I've learned over the years. When you pay for the best up front, you only cry once. Right? And that's, for me, I don't want to have to keep retrying and retrying. I want to hire and get counsel from the best of the best. And yes, I'll pay for it, but that's going to shortcut my success way stronger than trying to figure it out on my own.
Yep, definitely. I definitely hear you on that front. 3 final questions for you. Say you decide to put up a billboard for Big Block Realty on a freeway somewhere in the San Diego area when it's moving. So that because the traffic's moving, people only have 6 seconds to see your billboard. What is your billboard message?
It would be the same as the headline on our recruitment page, which is commission, training, support, and fun.
All right. I thought you would have gone for the 100% commission payout.
This is what I've learned. Remember when we talked about it's too good to be true? Mm-hmm. When we just run with 100% commission, we get a lot of it's too good to be true. 1. 2, especially people that just hear about our model out the gate, they think, man, 100% commission is all it takes. But we have to remember that not everybody is money driven. People are culture driven. People are training driven. People are support driven. We have found that the 4 things that move the needle the most for us is commission, training, support, and fun, which is culture. But I think that fun on a billboard is a lot more to the point than culture, which is a bit ambiguous. They don't know what that culture means. Yeah. Our culture is fun. Yeah. And our culture is forward thinking. Like you walk into our offices, dude, and they feel like Google. Everything's just so modern and fun and different. So commission, training, support, and fun is going to hit the high notes that we want to deliver on, and it's going to hit the high notes of our perfect customer. If they want to maximize profit, training, support, and have some fun, then we're the outfit for them.
All right. Awesome. And my 2 final questions for you. Who are your ideal customers? And by customers, it's agents, I assume. And what's the best way for them to reach you?
Our ideal customer, I guess, would go back to the billboard, an agent that is just looking to maximize their opportunity in this business so that we can back it up with really strong commission, training that they're just not going to get at most brokerages. The things that we train on, I've been talking about video marketing for 6 years. And finally, about 8 months, 10 months ago, our industry started talking about it. The person that wants really high-level support, 7 of our staff is just here to be concierge, to anticipate your needs. If we have people that want to be high achievers, like we're going to support with that agent concierge, and someone that ultimately doesn't want to be in a stale, boring environment. And I'll back that up with, if you're the type of agent that's really looking to scale your business, go from a single producer to maybe growing into a team, or moving your production up, we're really best suited to help you do that.
Right. How about for potential franchisee buyers? Who do you have yet the ideal buyer of your franchise operation?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks for asking. For me, what I'm learning in this franchise thing is people over profits. We need people that buy into the same mindset that we have. Someone that's really focused on loving on the customer, someone that believes that culture can move the needle, someone that wants to do things differently, but at the same time doesn't want to reinvent the wheel. We have a wheel. It's working well. So if you're one of the people that's just looking for a great opportunity to be ahead of the curve on a new model, capture market share, and have a lot of fun, you might be the perfect fit for us.
Do they have to be a real estate professional? Is that your ideal franchisee owner?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously, if you have real estate experience, it's going to give you an advantage. But, I don't even have my real estate license anymore. I've been in real estate my whole life, but I don't practice real estate. I don't have my license. We have a broker of record that's hired to be the broker of the company. So if you have real estate experience, certainly something that would make more sense. But if you don't, and anything that I've said resonates with you, and you can see that you can bring your entrepreneurship and back it up with people that understand real estate better than you do, you might just be the perfect fit.
Right. And what's the best way for them to contact you and your team?
I'll give you our website and our phone number. You can go to 100commissionrealestate.com or bigblockrealty.com, or you can call us directly at 1-800-550-3209. And you can always follow me on Instagram at the 9th, the 9th zero.
The 9th zero.
Yes, sir.
You're looking for that. That's the $1 billion implication there?
Yeah, that's the $1 billion mark.
All right.
Most people don't pick that up so quick, so well played.
It's clever. I like it. So
thank you.
Sam, it's been great having you on my show today. I really enjoyed hearing how you've been growing your business so fast.
Thank you, Malcolm. This was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you thinking of us. If there's anything we can do to support you, the answer is always yes.
All right. Well, I might be talking to you about getting a franchise for Austin.
Hey, let's do it. I'd love that.
All right.
All right, Malcolm.
We've been speaking with Sam Khorramian, the owner and co-founder of Big Block Realty, about his company's rapid growth. For interviews with other fast-growing, high-value sales companies, or to learn how we can accelerate your firm's high-value sales through automation, visit eversprint.com.